It is draft week, and just on time, we got reports that Howie Roseman is looking at trading up. Is this the real thing or a smokescreen? Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, kick Dingbat here, and it is finally here. It is the start of draft week, and just like clockwork, the Eagles are trying to... did I just say what I think Pause? No, did he? Just like clockwork, the Eagles are looking at trading up in the first round. I don't know if I said what I think I said or not, but the hell with it. We're just going to keep going. Only on this channel, baby. Only on this channel. Future Eagles news today. Now, like I said, the Eagles are reportedly looking at trading up. This should be no surprise. I have said 85% chance they trade up, and I believe it. The question is going to be for what? And we got a lot to talk about, but before we get into it, I have to say I want to apologize for not being able to stream earlier today. I had a bunch of stuff come up, and I basically couldn't get enough time to be able to come home and stream. So I apologize. We will look to do this tomorrow, and at some point during my tomorrow's stream, we will open the StreamYard lines for you guys to call in if you want to. So look for that tomorrow. Now, one of the big things that we've all been talking about everybody's been talking about Patrick Surtain a ton. I only recently have bought into the idea that it's even remotely possible, and that door was slightly open by comments Sean Payton made about trying to get up and get a quarterback. But this could all come to a screeching halt right now. All right, that's the truth, because Ian Rappaport is reporting this. Former Pound Jets starting quarterback and number 2 pick Zach Wilson is on the move. Sources say he's being traded to the Pound Broncos, hoping for a fresh start. The deal includes a late-round pick swap, a 6th for 7th, and the New York Jets will pay some of Wilson's roughly $5.5 million. So my question about this move, and the only reason that I really bring it up is because this could directly impact whether the Broncos would be willing to part ways with Patrick Surtain. The only way that they would was if it helped them to get a quarterback. If the Eagles were to throw in their first-round pick and Denver could acquire multiple first-round picks, they could then theoretically get up and then put themselves in a position to get a quarterback. With Zach Wilson coming, is Sean Payton looking at him going, oh, you let me develop him, you let me get my hands on him, pause, no diddy, he'll be a starting quarterback? Or is this just, hey, we're going to bring him in because why not, but they're still looking at moving up? That's a big question, and that question will let us know whether or not the Surtain thing is even possible. I don't think it is. I don't think that they'll trade him. However, it sounds like the Eagles are trying to trade up for a cornerback. And here's a reminder of our draft picks going into Thursday's draft. We got one first-round pick, 2 second-round picks, a 3 fifths, and a 6th. Now, what I would like to see from structure-wise of what they've got, I would not mind to see if they took that second-round pick and somehow could move back just a little bit, but maybe acquire another pick to go along with it. Maybe a late 3rd, maybe another 4th. But if they could add another pick, I think that would be good. We're all going to focus on the first-round pick, and it's important. But I'm telling you, the building blocks on those 2 second-round picks are huge. They have to hit the first 3 picks. They've got to hit these first 3 picks, in my opinion, because we need players, especially on the defensive side of the ball, okay? And John Clark wrote this earlier today. He said, Eagles GM Howie Roseman has been calling other teams about moving up in the first round of the draft. And teams believe he is interested in getting a cornerback. This is according to Adam Schefter. Howie does this every year and has deals in place in case player he wants is there, and he wants to trade up in the draft. He traded up in recent years for Carter, Davis, and Devontae Smith. That's right. And you can't forget Andre Dillard. The last 4 out of the last 5 years, Howie Roseman has traded up. And this is why I've said I believe there's probably about an 80% chance that Howie, this thing keeps moving, that Howie winds up trading up again. And if you just look at a lot of the mock drafts and you look at a lot of the players that are out there, if the Eagles have these specific guys that they want, like let's say a Fatanu, let's say an Arnold, let's say a Mitchell, let's say a Verse, none of those guys are going to be at 22. I don't even know if Cooper Dejean, the flying Frenchman, is going to be there. But I think the Eagles most likely will trade up. I'm guessing between the 15 and 18 range. That's where I think they're going to go. And I think going after a cornerback, if this is what the Eagles are going to do, I like it. I've told you, my number one move that I would like to do is I'd like to draft Quinyon Mitchell. That's who I would like. I think he's going to be a very, very good corner. I know that there's issues about him playing in Toledo and the competition, but I think he's got a really, really high skill set. Terrion Arnold is my second favorite corner in this draft. And I think if we base on reports that we heard last week, Arnold came in for a visit. And the visit apparently was like spectacular. It went like really, really well. He was there a while. The Eagles really liked the visit. So he might have won the Eagles over, and that's who they're looking at getting, Arnold. If that's the case, I love it. I would love to get Arnold. Matter of fact, I think you get Arnold, and I think you start him right away. Even if you have to keep Bradbury on the bench and eat the money, so be it. Maybe you could extend Bradbury and trade him. Maybe you wait to post June 1st and you just cut him and eat the $5 million in cap space, or it's $6 million. But if Arnold's the guy they like, then do it. But you could instantly, with a guy like Arnold, a guy like Wiggins, a guy like Mitchell, who is my favorite, by the way. If you get one of those guys, I believe you have a day one starter. Start him. And here's the thing that I really like about getting a corner. If you get a corner like let's say Arnold. Let's say Arnold's the guy. And then you have Ringo, okay? Eventually, to me, your corners are Arnold and Ringo. I think could be a starting corner in this league when Slay and Bradbury are done. And then you've got a really young secondary. You got Arnold. I'm forgetting these guys' names. I'm a dingbat. You got Arnold. You got Ringo. You've got C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You've got a lot of young guys. You got Isaiah Rodgers coming back. So I think that they're in a really good situation in their secondary if they take a corner. Now, the one thing about the corner situation I do wonder is, when they say they're looking for a corner, does this include Cooper Dejean? Because like I said, I don't know if I see him purely as a corner. I see him more as a Swiss Army knife that you use all over the place. Or, is he the guy they're after? I have a feeling it's one of those two. I like it. But I will say this. We have to remember this one thing. It is the week before the draft. A lot of times there's a lot of smoke screens out there. A lot of times when you hear, the Eagles want a corner, that could be the complete opposite. The Eagles could be putting that out there because they want an offensive lineman and they're hoping some of them drop. Or they want a defensive lineman and are hoping some of them drop. I don't think we can put a lot of stock in when you hear that they're after a certain position. Even though it may be true, you can't put a lot of stock in it because there's a lot of games being played. Now, the Eagles trading up, I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. I don't think the Eagles are trying to even hide it. I think they probably have deals worked out in place. If certain guys get to a certain point, boom, they're going to move up and they're going to do it. So I think that would be definitely something. I think trading up in the first round is like almost a certainty. It's almost a certainty. The question is once you trade up in the first, what did you have to get up to get as high as you're going to in the first? Will you still have 2 seconds left? Because I could see a position where you trade up in the first, and if it doesn't, like if you could get up there for like, a first round, your 22nd, a fifth this year, and like a fifth next year, and you can get up to like 15 or 16 or something like that, then I still think you've got to try to do something with with one of those second round picks. I ideally would like to trade up in the second round and then trade back with my second round and gain more picks. I would like to see them do something like that. But if you go out and you get Arnold, Cooper Dejean, okay, somebody like that, Mitchell, I would love it if they got Quinyon Mitchell, man. But, you go out, you get somebody like that. Then in the second round, you could trade up and somehow get Edrin Cooper. You're in business, man. This defense all of a sudden is in business. And that's what we need. That's the kind of draft we need to come out of, with 2 of your first 3 picks possibly being starters right away. But, we'll see. There's a lot of smoke screens going on right now. I do believe the Eagles want to trade up. I'm 50-50 on whether it's because they're targeting a corner. I know they need one, and I know that's what they need, but it's just as easy to say we need a corner, but really you're focusing in on an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman. It's going to be interesting. And, I don't know, man. This Cooper Dejean dude got me. The Flying Frenchman's got me thinking. Like, I see Mitchell, Arnold, those guys as outside corners that come and play. I see him as a guy that you use all around in different situations. And if you have a good defensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator with some imagination, okay, I think he could make Cooper Dejean a stud in this league, a game changer on defense. And that talent and that upside really appeals to me as we get closer and closer to this draft. But we'll see. I look forward to talking to you guys tomorrow and hanging out. Should be a lot of fun. And hopefully there will be nothing that comes up again that will limit my time. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision, baby. We're all just living in it. So I did a video yesterday, right? And I was responding to Mark Holmes attacking me. Literally, less than 2 hours after I post that video, he is already got a response up. I think he sits there and he just hits refresh Philly 500, and he just waits for me to say something so he can respond. And he said, oh, I must have hit home with what I said about Philly 500. It couldn't be further from the truth. But once again, he ignores what I say. You give Dak Prescott excuses all the time. When are you going to hold him responsible? I've been asking this question for 2 years. Never, ever, ever gets a response. But now he's traveling. He's driving. He's got his big old Winnebago and he's driving. And he's got all his little cowboy fans and they're doing their chicken sacrifices and chants and stuff, playing with a Ouija board in the Winnebago. And they're going to get all the way up to the draft and Dallas going to trade Dak Prescott. Boom! I love it. It's not going to happen, but it'll be hilarious. Denzel Washington out.